In my videos showing you the real-life locations that Yakuza games were modeled from, we've been to Tokyo, Osaka and Okinawa. Now let's wrap it up with the last 4 locations from 2 games. First up is Yakuza 5, which had as many cities as the number in the title. Tokyo and Osaka are of course already covered, but there's also Sapporo, Nagoya and Fukuoka. Fukuoka's area is called Nagasugai, based on Nakasu in real life. With Fukuoka, the most easily recognizable features are the canals. They're there in the game as they are in real life, complete with that one bridge with the round part and flowers set up. Along the canals and in the city in general, in the afternoon these small portable restaurants called yatai are set up by their single operators, and they're in the game too. I'm not sure if any of them accept part-time workers in real life though. Both of the M stores in the game are here in the form of 7-Elevens, both the one at the corner and the one by the canal. In the main part of Nakasu are hostess clubs and such, but there isn't really too much in terms of recognizable landmarks, or at least that I found personally. There's that one silvery building that kind of looks like one in the game, I think, but overall there's not a whole lot. In the game there's a big temple-looking hotel that I couldn't find at all, and there's also a nice-looking building that I did find, but not on my actual trip, but on Google Maps. From one end of Japan to another, Sapporo. The area is called Tsukimino in the game, and Susukino in real life. Let's start from the crossing that has many neon signs as well as the Nika King sign. But of course the specific advertisements aren't exactly the same, but in general it's similar. The subway entrances are where they are in real life, and the tram also runs along the street, although you can't ride it. There's the shopping arcade street, which has a Don Quixote in the same location as in the game, and some of the stores are the same too, although again the names are changed. I did see a Sushi Zanmai, which is in the game though. There was also a red and white striped building that vaguely looks like the Sluggers batting center from real life. The alley that can be accessed from the shopping street, I couldn't find anything like that when I was there. Further down the street is the street or area where the snow statue exhibit is every winter, although they weren't there for me because I went in March. The TV tower is there too, of course. The little village out in the mountains in the game, I have no idea where that is supposed to be, and I didn't go to such a place. I did contemplate going to Abashiri prison, but it was about 6 hours from Sapporo up in the northeast part of Hokkaido, which was a little too far for me. Abashiri prison was the toughest prison in Japan from the Meiji period to 1984 and is now a museum. However, a real prison does also operate, but it's medium security, unlike in the game where it seems to house the worst of the worst, like Kugihara for instance. The Vernon Schillinger of the Yakuza series.
Schillinger! God damn it! Schillinger!
Hey, I'm sorry. The area of Nagoya that was adapted for the game is Sakae, in the game called Kineicho, which is the most unlike real life that the game has gotten so far with its names, but the new name does contain the Sakae kanji, so there's that. Beginning from the east end of the map, the oval stage, which is called that in real life as well, is not oval at all in the game. The neighboring park is pretty faithfully recreated, along with a tower and the central park area, in the game called Mid Square. There was no Christmas tree here when I went, because it wasn't Christmas at the time. The Ferris wheel is located where it should be. The meat of the Kineicho Sakae area is kind of like Fukuoka, lacking in the way of specific landmarks. The M store is represented though. And those bollards that make the narrow streets even more narrow are there too. Finally, let's switch games and platforms to Yakuza 6 and head to Onomichi. Since the Yakuza series got popular, plenty of people have already made location articles and videos on Onomichi, so I think I'll be as brief as possible. But still, here we go. The game and reality is pretty close here. You've got the harbor, where the apartment Kiryu had doesn't exist, the mini dock, the shopping street, the small street with bars. Some of these look pretty reminiscent to the game, particularly this one. Moving on from there is the road and the train tracks, the bridge going over, the overpass and underpass for pedestrians, and the ropeway station that you both in the game and in reality can take to the top of the mountain, which also looks quite similar. This area past the road and train tracks is very picturesque, and has those nice brown walls. I also found a cemetery, but unlike the game, no ghosts. Well, that's about it I guess. There was no battleship out in the harbor when I was there, and I wonder if there ever was. Onomichi was quite nice, although I honestly thought at first it would be part of Greater Hiroshima, when in fact it was about an hour by train from Hiroshima, almost halfway to Okayama. Anyway, those are the locations from Yakuza 5 and 6. Where do we go from here? Well,